Hey guys, here's the doing a video here for the MTG noob. It's Goomba Mike here, doing another Swiss draft. Um, so this is a pretty easy pick. There's only two cards I think that are even close to each other in this pack, which is basically Conscripts or Emancipation Angel. Um, but I think Conscript is definitely the card. Its power potential is much stronger than the Angel. In this set, we can do some pretty unfair things with it, so I'm gonna go with the Conscript, and it's only one red. So, okay, here we have a choice between Seraph or Stormkirk, I should say. Those are definitely the two strongest cards in the pack. Stormkirk is strong, but Seraph just totally totally knocks it out of the park. The person to our right looks like he took an uncommon from this pack over the Seraph, so I don't think it would be a white uncommon. So I'm going to go with the Seraph here. It's just the strongest card in the pack. Despite the fact that we already took a red card, I usually like to stick with the color. The power level of Seraph just demands that I take it. Okay, looks like we're getting paid off for taking the Seraph. Looks like the person to our right wants us to go white. We have no problem if it comes in the form of Seraph Dawn. That's probably the strongest common in this set. As of note, there's a Into the Void here, Wandering Wolf, Croon Striker, Corpse Trader. I'm still not sure of what he might have took. He either took a rare or a common from this pack. But I guess I don't really have to worry about it because I'm being given Seraph, so I'll just take that and be happy with it. Alright, here we have a pick between Peddler is a fine card, Cathar is fine, Thunderous Wrath is easily the strongest card in the pack, and Smuggler is pretty good if you got it in the right deck, but we already have a red card, and the Thunderous Wrath is the strongest card in the pack, so I think this is a pretty easy pick. Alright, here we have a choice between I think the strongest card in the pack in this case is definitely the Windcrafter. We got past the Smuggler and we got past this, but we haven't got past any. We got past two Stern Mentors. But it looks like we're gonna be going white red at this point. So it's really between the Valiant or the Guise of Fire. This is just for killing weenies. But I'll take the solid 2-drop in Valiant over the Guise of Fire. And Bladed Bracers is a card I would play, but not if I don't have to. I'm certainly not going to take it this early. Okay, here there's not much for us to choose from. There's the Vigilante Justice, if we get the right cards with it. There's a Curse Break we could take at sideboard, or we could grab a Geist or a Butcher Ghoul in case we end up going one of those colors. But I think I'm just going to take the Justice. With the cards I have right now, I really want to stick to white and red. I don't think I'd abandon them easily. And we could potentially get some pretty powerful effects with Vigilante Justice, so we'll grab that. Okay, here we don't have much really to pick from. No, this is just gonna be taking something that away from someone. Basically, this is nothing. This is nothing special. We'll just take the Geist. It's probably the best card in the pack. So I'll just go with that in case for some reason we abandon the white-red thing and go green. Okay, here we have a choice between a Haunted Guardian, a Dangerous Wager, or Curse Break. There's also a Conjurer's Closet, but I don't know. We have one card that works pretty well with that. That's the Conscripts, but I don't know ultimately if we'll have that much tech with it. It could also work with Vigilante Justice, but I don't feel that. And it's at the beginning of the end step, so actually with Conscripts it wouldn't work too well. So I'll just take the Dangerous Wager, which is a decent card. Okay, here we have a choice between Wall, Devils, Commander's Authority, or Bladed Bracers. I feel like this is a faster set, so I'm not too crazy about taking the Authority. Despite the fact that it's a card that works with Vigilante Justice. The Devils is okay, I think, but it tends to be on the slow side as well. Wall, I like to be on the offensive. I don't like to be I don't like to play cards like that. I like to be the aggressive. So I'm just going to take the bracers. Because I don't think I'd play any of the two. Zealous Strike is just a fine card. So we'll just grab that. There's nothing else for us to take. I think Corpse Trader is actually... I like this card a lot. In the right deck with like Driver of the Deads and the Undying 2-mana 1/1 Ghoul. Yeah, some pretty good tech, but apparently no one else thinks so. We'll just take the Leap of Faith. Probably not going to play it, but no reason to counter draft with that pack. I guess we'll just take the Terrifying Presence. It's a possible fog. We'll take another Leap of Faith. Poltergeist. A few cards that are white or red or that we don't intend on playing. Okay, here in pack 2. So we have opened another Alchemist Refuge, which doesn't mean anything at all. We opened a Malcontents, which would be pretty good in our deck, but we also opened another Seraph, which is just ridiculous on its own. So I'm tempted to just take that card and have 3 of them, which is pretty powerful in this set. Not a lot of cards that can actually kill it. Thunderbolts, Thunderous Wrath, but a lot of the other removals can't. Not a lot of cards can get rid of it, and it's pretty strong. So that's another no-brainer. Okay, here we have another pack. Now I think this is basically a choice between Lightning Prowess or Mad Prophet. The Chaplain's a fine card. The Call to Serve is a fine card, but we're really going with the Seraph of Dawn plan here. So the Call to Serve is we don't need to give. I want it if I have creatures on the ground, but it looks like we have plenty of flyers. Lightning Prowess is probably the stronger card, especially since the need for removal in this set. Although Mad Prophet is a looter, but I'm gonna go with the Lightning Prowess just because of lack of removal in this set. I think that's the better card to take because of the format being the way it is. Here we don't have much of anything. The only card that's even red or white is Cloud Shift and Angel's Mercy. The Cloud Shift we could use with the Conscript. We could use it to protect one of our Seraphs. I think I'll take it just for that reason. I'm not going to play Exquisite Blood or Barter in Blood or Latch Seeker, although those are all solid cards. So I'm just going to take the Cloud Shift. That's a playable option here. Alright, here we have, typically in this pack, the Lancer is the strongest card, but considering the fact that we have 3 Seraph of Dawns, I'm really tempted to take the Tormentor's Trident. It's obviously very powerful with that card. It can make racing totally impossible for our opponents. So I think because of our triple Seraph, I am actually going to take this card. Just because we can make really, really good use of it. Okay. Unfortunately, despite the fact that I don't like playing things like Walls, we haven't really gotten any 2-drops. We haven't gotten any Croon Strikers. All we have is this Valiant. And there's nothing really else in this pack for us to take. We could take the Vessel of Endless Rest, but there's not a whole lot of reason to. I mean, we get to Thunderous Wrath faster, we get to Conscripts faster. It makes it a little easier to play our Seraph of Dawn, but I think I'm going to take the Wall, just because we really lack in 2-drops right now. And I don't mind dropping the Angelic Walls and then playing the Seraph of Dawns to win the game, which is a fine strategy. Here, I don't think there's much for us to take either. I'm not crazy about Voice of Promise. I don't want to pay 6 mana for a 3/3 flyer. That's a Lighthouse is fine, but I'd have to splash to run it, and I think with triple Seraph of Dawn, I don't want to do that. I want to make sure I can play that card on my 4th turn, no matter what. So, I'm just going to take... I'll just take the Province, because it's the only card in our color, and I don't need to counter draft right at that point. Here we have another chance at another Tormentor's Trident, which, like I said, is really good for our deck, but what we seem to be lacking right now is in creatures. We need to increase our creature count. So I think I'm just going to take the Explorer. It's not a great card, but it's not a total waste at 3 mana for a 2/3, and against certain decks, it actually works pretty well with the Tormentor's Trident we have as well. So I'm not going to take the second Trident, just because we're short on creatures right now. Okay, I will take the Aggravate here. I think that's a fine card. I have no problem with it, and against the right deck it could be pretty devastating, so we'll grab that. And this, I guess we'll take another voice, although I don't intend on really playing either of them if I don't have to. Here we have a choice between Call to Serve or Geist of Fire. I guess I will take the Call to Serve, since it does make it harder to race with our angels, but I don't exactly intend on playing it. But the Geist of Fire can get rid of weenies, and it's much more versatile, so I'll just take the Geist. So especially since we're low on creatures right now, I don't need to take the creature enchantment. I'll just take the Driver here. It's probably the most useful card. I'll take the Poltergeist, again with no intention of playing it. We'll take the Geist Snatch here. Alright, we just picked a grounding for the second to last pick. I didn't record that accidentally. And here comes the third pack. Okay, here I obviously have a money card in mtgo. I have a Ringleader which we could use, but I also have Righteous Blow and Pillar of Flame which we could also use. I usually don't do this, but I think because of pure value, I will take the mtgo. It would pretty much pay for this draft and the next draft, although usually I personally like to just make my deck as strong as possible. But this isn't an 8-4, so I don't feel the necessity to take the Pillar of Flame, which is probably what I would take if mtgo wasn't here. But because of value, I'm going to take the mtgo. Okay, here we have a choice between Cathar, Geist, or Ringleader. All decent 3-drops. Trying to figure out which one is the best in our deck. We don't have a whole lot of humans. We don't have a lot of drops at all early on. But I think I will take the right Ringleader. Because I think potentially it could be much stronger than any of these cards. Despite the fact that Geist is a flyer and probably works best with the Trident. I will grab. Actually, probably for that reason, I should grab the Geist. This is a little difficult of a pick. None of them really jump out at me. We do have the Vigilante Justice in case we do end up going that, which makes me want to take a human, but I will take the Ringleader because I'm hoping to get Croon Strikers and maybe more Valiants in this pack. So I will take the Ringleader because of that reason. So the Stone Rite is fine. Exterminator is a fine card, and Geist is a fine card. I want to make my deck a little quicker. Someone told me on one of the forums, or mentioned on one of the forums, that they think that Stone Rite is the best 1-drop in the set. I think it's okay, but I think that honor actually goes to Windcrafter. I think it's potentially much more powerful. And anything bound with Stone Rite can still be blocked. Can't increase its toughness. But because of the Seraph of Dawn's tech with Stone Rite here, I think that's definitely the right pick. Okay, here we have a choice between Thunderbolt, Zelda Strikes, or Heirs of Stromkirk. Heirs of Stromkirk is a double red card at the 4-drop, and it looks like we're really leaning towards white more so. So that makes me eager rather to grab a Zelda Strike or a Thunderbolt. Once again, our creature count is a little low, but we're hoping to improve that within the next few picks. So I think I will take the Zealous Strike for that reason. I don't think we can reliably play the heirs, and I want to be able to run 10-7 with this deck. 10 plains and 7 mountains, so I will take the strike because of that reason. Okay, here we have a choice between the Exterminator, the Thatcher Revolt, or the... Oh, pretty much those two cards. Both of them are creatures. It just depends on which one is more useful in a deck. The Thatcher Revolt obviously works with Vigilante Justice pretty well. But unfortunately, we don't have really any other tech. Well, actually, we do have a Ringleader, which it works with. The Exterminator, we didn't grab any of the 2-mana +1/+2 cards that give our creatures flying, which would be pretty good with the Exterminator. And we don't have a lot of ways to get around our opponent with the Exterminator. Now, we don't really tech with it. We just hope they don't have a creature so we could make it a little bigger. So for that reason, I think I am going to take the Thatcher Revolt. Okay. Well, here there's a pick between not much. It's really the Stromkirk here, although I don't, like I said, I'd rather not play it since I'm looking at my mana base being 10-7, but I will have to play it since it's a creature, and it's a solid creature, despite all the reasons I mentioned. Okay, now here we have a pick between Trident and Ringleader or Explorer. We have tech with Ringleader, so we want to improve the chance of being able to use that. We also have tech with the Trident, but I think because of our lack of creatures, we have to take the Ringleader. Okay, here I will take the Call to Serve, since I have a ground game now. I have a few creatures that I'd like to put it on, so we will take the Call to Serve. Here, there's nothing for us to take. We'll just take a card away, the card that's probably most devastating to us, which is Eaten by Spiders, because it does kill. That does kill Seraphadon. Here we have a choice between Scalding Devil or Angel's Tome. The 2-drop, we only have 3 cards we can play before our 3rd drop. But the Devils is not much we can do with. The Angel's Tomb is fine. Neither of these cards really excite me right now. I think for that reason, I will take the Angel's Tomb. Just could potentially be a strong card. This is nothing for us. I don't even know what I would want to block with Midnight Duelist. I can't even think of any. I don't know, any ground vampires. The strongest card in here is obviously Shield Knight. We'll just take that since we're not going to play any other cards. We'll take the Sanctifier with no intent on playing it. Surprised the Smuggler is going this late. Here we'll just take the, I guess, the Banner's Raise. We're not going to play it, but it could work in our deck much better than the card that gains life. We'll take the Unhallowed Pact here. And we got a Plains for our last pick. Okay, here in deck construction. The one thing I worry about this is that we might be a little bit short in playables. I was pretty picky with my picks in that draft, so we might have a little trouble on that end, but we'll let the cards drop and see if that's the case. Jock Wall, the Valiant, we get drawn 2 Zealous Strikes. Explorer. I think we'll be running the 3 Seraphs, obviously. Later Brace is fine, it works with the Seraphs, it works with our humans. The Trident is fine as well. So, what's our human count? Our human count is at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. With the Thatcher Vault, that's a human technically, so we'll say 7. I don't know if that warrants playing Vigilante Justice. Matter of fact, it probably doesn't. But then the Thatcher Volts only work with the ringleaders, really. Other than that, it's not a very powerful effect. So we're gonna have to decide what we need to throw in here. Okay, I think the Cloud Shift works fine with the reason we get to protect one of our creatures, and also makes conscripts a little stronger. I think we will put that in for that reason. If I do put in Vigilante Justice, I'm tempted obviously to throw in the Sanctifier, although that's not a very strong card at all. We do have at least Cloud Shift as tech with it. That's not very impressive. And we could make it a little bit bigger so it's at least a viable creature. So if I go that route, I would have 8 cards that are humans with the Vigilante Justice, and technically Cloud Shift would also work with that. We have about 11 creatures, so like I said, we're a little short on that. This is actually a tough last 3 cards. I think we're actually gonna have to up our creature count. So I think I'm gonna throw the Angel's Tomb in just so we're a little more aggressive. I think we have enough creatures to take advantage of the Vigilante Justice, and I will run the Sanctifier, although I'm not too hot about it. I'd love to put a call to serve on Ringleader, which is pretty solid, but I think for the sake of the deck, we need a little more, need a few more creatures. We need things to flow a little more. I wish I could take more advantage of the Vigilante Justice. I wish we could do some more, some much stronger things with it, but we really can't. We have 12 creatures. Angel's Tomb, I guess, counts as a creature, so we have about 13. We're a little on the low end, but we're gonna have to deal with that. I could run Poltergeist and Call to Serve, but that would be one card that works with it, so I think we're gonna have to take it as it is. I think it's okay. The Cathedral Sanctifier at least could be a 2/1 when the Ringleader attacks, so it's not a complete waste. Yeah, we're gonna run it like this. Our stats, let's look at our numbers, is 13 and 13. I probably won't be running 10-7 like I hoped. I need the white earlier. A little more than the red, especially since I want to get Seraph on turn 4, no matter what. So I guess I will run 9-8. Okay, well, that's the deck. We'll see you guys in round 1.